Meeting to order. We'll start with roll call.
Bevins.
Here.
Bedot.
Here.
Erickson.
Erickson here.
Amber.
She's muted.
You're muted, Jan.
Amber's here.
Panic.
Katie has joined the meeting.
Sorry, technical difficulties. I couldn't get unmuted. Stunek. Stunek. Did we lose Kevin?
Here.
Onken.
Has joined the meeting.
Ed, you're muted.
Okay, present.
Okay, that brings us to the third item on our agenda. We'll have to keep an eye out to see
Has
if
joined the meeting.
Kevin Stunek shows up. The next item is to conduct interviews of the mayoral candidates. We're going to handle this like we did with the last couple council vacancies and the last mayoral vacancy. And that is, we are going to have each of the candidates who applied up to a 5-minute presentation on why they think they should be mayor. After they are done, each individual will have an opportunity to take questions from anybody on the council who has questions. And we're going to start, it looks like they put it alphabetical order. So the first candidate to give their presentation and take any questions will be Heather Honest. So the floor is yours, Heather.
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me and allowing me to share how I'm the best candidate with only the city of Brainerd's best interests in mind for the position of mayor. I would be an excellent mayor to the people of Brainerd, as I have seen the city from many points of view. This would make it easy for others to share with me their joys and successes, and also any issues that they may have on their heart. As a mayor, I would listen and I would share any concerns that I have heard or what I have witnessed with the city council. I believe that a new name, a new face is what the city of Brainerd needs in order to reach out to those who may not have been heard before, or to hear those who have been heard before, but give it a different perspective. While it may seem comfortable for you to vote for who you know or for what you know, I'm inviting you to vote for Heather Honest, who will bring a light that others will welcome to shine in their lives, in their city, the city of Brainerd. I just want to, I want a different perspective to be brought to the city of Brainerd. So if you have any questions of me, please feel free to ask.
Gabe, you're muted.
Yeah, I can see your lips moving.
Thank you, Heather. Does anybody on the council have a question of Heather? Alderman Bevins.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Oh, Heather, thanks for applying. I just wanted to make sure, and I'm not sure that this came through in the opening statements, but it's my understanding, Heather, that this position will have to run if they choose again this fall right away. Because then you'll have to run for a 2-year term to fill out the rest of Mayor Manx. and this appointment only goes through the election of this fall. That's my understanding, although Chairman Johnson is nodding his head. So that's what we did with Mr. May. And my question is to you, Heather, do you understand that? And what in the heck do you think you're going to be able to do with 6 months? Specific.
With 6 months left of Mayor Meng's position left, I think I would just bring a light to all different people across the board that I'm not a typical candidate, and it's okay. I want to bring awareness to I'm in a wheelchair, and so I want to make these people just think more about accessibility, and I want that to be something that, you know, that when someone walks into a building, are they thinking, oh my, Heather wouldn't be able to fit in here, or Heather wouldn't be able to get in here. That's something that I would really like for Brainerd to open up, is accessibility, but not just accessibility for, you know, for people with mobility issues, but accessibility like in the housing, you know, for people getting into housing and that. Just open your minds more, you know. So that's where I'm coming from. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Thank you, Heather.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Bevins. Does anybody else have a question of Heather? Seeing nobody jumping at their monitors, we will move on. Thank you again, Heather.
Gabe, can you confirm that timing that I proposed?
Correct. We are filling, when we fill a vacancy, you only fill that role until the next election in the city. So our next general election is this November. We'll have to run a special election, fill out the remaining 2 years, and then run again in 2022 for a 4-year term.
Just wanted to confirm. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yep. So alphabetically, next up is Dave Badeau.
Apologize there. Kevin Stunek is having some troubles with his computer. Yeah, so hello, everyone. You guys obviously have seen my face before. This is a new angle of it, but it's good seeing your guys' faces as well. Why I'm interested in taking on the role of mayor is really, it comes down to the fact that I want to see Brainerd become the best version of itself that it can be. We're in a unique situation right now where the city has a small window of time in which it needs to fill this position, and then of course hopefully that person would want to take on the position on a longer term basis or run in the fall, as Kelly had said. But right now we have an opportunity. I think we have an opportunity to have someone that can help speak for some of the decisions that we've made as a council. I think that's one of the things that we struggle with from time to time, and I've made that loud and clear previously, that I think communication is a struggle sometimes for our city. And that's one of the beauties of the mayor position, is that it's really the cheerleading position. It's the role that is out there helping to speak about the issues and be the voice of the citizens as well. I think that the opportunity that we have right now is interesting because of the situation, not just with the short term of 6 months, but also because of what's going on in our community right now. And I think that's one of the areas where my background comes in to play. I come from the sales and marketing world, but also, as you guys know, taking on the role of Brainerd Community Action. That's kind of what I do right now, is speaking with the community, trying to gather the community, get them together. And in these times right now, it's a difficult task. But I think that as a city, we can rally together. And I think that there are things that we can do to help get our messages out there. And really, that's what the role of the mayor traditionally has been, and can extrapolate on as well. Above all else, I mean, honestly,
has joined the meeting.
above all else, I just really love this city. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And what I would like to do is do whatever it is that I can do to help it be the best version of itself that it can be. And I personally, I think that this is a great position that I could do a lot of good with.
Thank you, Dave Bedeau. Does anybody on the council have a question? Dave Bedeau. Alderman Bevins.
Sorry, Dave, but I got to ask questions. And this one, I have to be truthful. If I thought of the head cheerleader for the city of Brainerd, you might be my guy. However, when you took the community action position, the first thought I had was, oh my, is there any conflict here? It just seemed funny. And I'm sorry about that. And then I ran over and talked to Joe Langle, and you were there, and he said, no problems. Maybe when we vote on the money, that's something you have to refrain from. But now that you're looking at mayor, I don't know, does it seem funny to you? Are you concerned at all, Dave, that you're going to have too many of the same eggs in one basket? Not too many eggs, but that you may have to wear too many hats at one time.
Sure. Yeah, and to follow up with the initial part of your question there, that was one of the first things that when I took on the role of Brainerd Community Action, the very first thing I did was talk to Joel and said, I'm thinking about this. I'd like to make sure that before I even say anything to anyone that it's something that isn't going to be a conflict. And the interesting thing is that moving into the mayoral position, there's actually probably less conflict than there is at the council level, which really from the council level, there isn't much. But moving into the role of the mayor, because there'll be less actual votes and decisions being made, I think that removes more of that conflict that people might be concerned of. I know that the board is set.
Should be good.
Leave it to Kevin Stunick, always.
We just elected you mayor, Kevin.
But yeah, when getting hired at Community Action, one of the very first questions the board asked was exactly what you said. And where do you think this lies? What do you think that people will have concern with it or not? And those are issues that we would need to address on our end. But I was very clear to them, and at that meeting, they actually said, where do you want to be in 5 years? And strangely enough, I said, I would really like to be the mayor. And it's interesting that then this transpired and has moved into the position that it has, and that the opportunity has arisen. It's something that I'm interested in. I think it's something that there will be some crossover with, but I think that gives us an opportunity to help reach more people. I think that's one of the interesting things about community action is it's about connecting people with other people, and having a knowledge of the city and knowledge of people within the city just helps that position.
Gotcha.
Any other questions of Dave Bedeau? Doesn't look like there are any. Welcome to the meeting, Kevin. You missed Heather Honest already. Gave a short presentation. Heather, do you want to introduce yourself to Alderman Stunick since he was not on the call when you gave your presentation?
Hello, Alderman Stunick. My name is Heather Honest, and I would like to be mayor because I've seen Brainerd from all different standpoints. I've seen it from being unemployed to underemployed, gainfully employed. I've worked at the workforce center as a job counselor, assisting people to get back on their feet. And I just really would like to be that person that people can bring their joys and their concerns to, so that and not feel like they're going to be intimidated. I want them to feel open to speaking with me, and I think that's very clear from where I'm sitting. No pun intended, but I do sit in a wheelchair. So I think it's comfortable for people to talk to me. And I do, I do want to help out the community, and I do know, as
Has
you know,
joined the meeting.
so getting people back on their feet and that, and I think that speaks, highly for what I can do, and because I'm not stopping where I'm at, I think it encourages people to continue to grow. So I would really like to be elected mayor and just see where it goes.
All right, thank you. We'll move next to Kevin Getker for 5 minutes and questions. Take it away, Kevin.
Thank you very much for having me today, and just like to talk a little bit about why I'd like to be mayor. I think that some of the passionate things that I have are service and leadership. And when it comes to the city of Brainerd, I'm very passionate about Brainerd. I think some of the time that I was on the Brainerd City Council in the past, I feel that I showed that I was fair and was able to cooperate with other people. So I served 8 years on the council. Obviously, I'm assuming everybody read all the attached information. I did serve on both committees and was the council president. I know that all the 4 candidates, we have a lot of similarities. We all love the community. We all have done a lot for the community. I think some of the differences with me would be that I've done a lot of community leadership and have a lot of favorable connections. I've actually had a passion to be mayor since about 2002 and have popped up every once in a while when the opportunity came available, and still continue to want to serve in that capacity because I feel I have something to offer and help, just like the other 4 candidates. I think that I am well known in the community, that will help me with connections throughout the community. And one thing with me, you wouldn't probably have to go through the process of this again to appoint somebody else if you did appoint one of the other council members, which would be, I would think, a positive, not having to go through an appointment process right away. Like I said, I really feel that I have the leadership capability and the desire to help the city in the best possible light, just like a lot of the other people. But I feel that I've done a lot in the community, or a lot more in the community as far as leadership with other organizations, and have a lot more connections to be able to keep things positive. And I think right now we have a big need for hope, which we need to continue what the council has done in this difficult time, or interesting time, I should say. And I'm open to questions.
Thanks, Kevin. Does anybody have a question of Kevin Getker? Seeing nobody talking, move on to our 4th applicant, and that is Dave Pritchett. Take it away, Dave.
All right. Thank you very, very much. I hope you're all staying safe and sane in our shelter at home. Why do I have interest in this position? I've been thinking about becoming mayor, running for mayor for about 1.5 years, but Mayor Mank's resignation has changed my timeline. I was definitely looking at doing that in 2 years. And again, I'm going to assume that you read all of the materials I supplied. So I work hard, but you also know that I am not perfect, as I omitted council member in my thing. So I don't expect people to be perfect, but I do have a high expectation of myself and the connections that we've made. Some of my other strengths are my connections and my contacts with a lot of different communities and different age groups. From having cared for my mother who lived next door, I understand the issues and the problems of the elderly. Contact with former students, with the parents of my current students, my children's age group, which are 20-somethings, the kids that I coach and the kids that I teach. I have a wide range of contact with all different age groups throughout the community of Brainerd. When I look at what the mayor does, I see the mayor as a conduit from the people to the council to the staff and back. And I believe one of my strengths is that I'm very easily approachable. I'm a strong listener. I look for the good in every person that I meet. I look for the strong ideas in every idea that I hear. I believe for myself personally, changing positions can sometimes cause a revitalization and a reinvigoration, and it brings new challenges. I mean, I love being part of the council, but I see this as a chance to stretch and increase my energies and my efforts in some slightly different areas in working to make Brainerd a better place for everybody in this community and for those who are outside of the community that come to visit. I'd just like you to know right now, if chosen, I'd like to declare, I know I can't do that officially, my intent to run for the mayor at the next election. And if you guys decide to go a different direction, I would like to declare my intent to run for council again at the next election. I am now open for questions.
Thanks, Dave. Does anybody have a question? Kelly Bevins.
You're muted, Kelly.
How's that, Dad?
Much better.
You know, just the obvious. I've known you long enough that everything you say rings true with my knowledge of you. The one that sticks out in me as a concern would be your job as a teacher. I know you and I have talked about it in the past prior to you taking the council presidency, and the concerns that there's possibly a lot more involved with mayor, especially daytime stuff during the week, where you need to be able to go here and represent the city, go there and represent the city. Do you have any concerns about being able to fill that part of the job, which I believe are part of the expectation?
That's an excellent question. And just kind of the way things have fallen together at ISD 181, we now have paid time off. I get 12 days paid time off throughout the year. I rarely take more than 3 or 4 days off a year. So I would be able to use chunks of that time to be able to attend daytime activities. Also, now that I'm kind of backing away from debate, that frees up a lot more time. And my speech schedule is not as heavily packed as my debate schedule. So things are kind of falling in place. That was a big concern of mine earlier. So like last time when Mayor Mink was saying nobody else is running for mayor, I kind of thought about it, but my responsibilities at that time wouldn't have allowed me. I think things have changed in my life enough that I should have no problem with that.
Excellent, thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? Seeing no other questions, we'll move in the next agenda item. Appoint a mayor to fill Mayor Mink's term from April 20th, 2020 through December 31, 2020. So members of the council, you've done this, but I'll just repeat it for our applicants and for anybody listening. Each member of the council will have one vote. As it stands, or as it is, state law bars from voting if they are an applicant. So we will have 5 council members voting here. Each member of the council will vote for one of the nominees. The first nominee to get 3 votes will be appointed there. If after the first round there isn't a member with 3 votes, we will eliminate the lowest vote getter and go again, and so forth until somebody has the majority of the council voting for them. So with that, Jennifer, are you ready for a roll call vote?
All right, Bevins.
But
Erickson.
Pritchett.
Lambert. Lambert. Are muted, Jan.
Bodeau.
Stunek. And are you there? Kevin, can you mute your phone?
You hear me now?
Ken.
Stunek, Bordeaux.
And Johnson. And Gabe, you're muted.
Oh, I muted myself to vote. Johnson Bado.
Mr. President,
Tally them all.
the vote is 4 for Beddoe and 1 for Pritchett, and 0 for Heather, and 0 for Kevin. Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you to all 4 candidates for willing to step up to be mayor for this city. It's not an easy job, and it's good to see we have engaged citizens willing to do that. Looks like Bado won the appointment tonight, 4 votes to 1. I think he will be sworn into office here in about 5 minutes. It's 7:26. We got a meeting to go to in 4 minutes. Does anybody else have anything to say?
All right, before you get rid of me, where do I go now?
For the next meeting, Alderman Pritchett.
Last time.
I just wanted to say congratulations to Mayor Bado. I'm sure
Has
he's doing an
left the
awesome
meeting.
job.
I want to thank you, and I want to thank the other candidates as well.
Has left the
This is
meeting.
a great opportunity, and I hope I can live up to what your expectations are.
Teresa Burke.
Has left the meeting.
Watching.
Okay, with that, we're adjourned. We'll see you in a different room in 4 minutes.
I hope so.
Has left the meeting.
Just doing it right now. Leave meeting.
Has left the meeting. A participant has left the meeting.
Still here?
Has left the meeting.
I'm having a hard time doing this meeting.